We begin this episode with a skosh of trivia. Who's the most prolific writer for the silver screen? Here's a hint. Curly hair, snazzy single hoop earring, went by Billy to his friends. No, not Billy Wilder. This guy.
William Shakespeare tops the list on IMDb with a whopping 1,419 writing credits to his name. One of the cleverest was released 20 years ago on March 31st, a reinterpretation of a Shakespearean comedy that daringly dove into gender politics, false identities, and romantic intrigue.
No, the other iconic movie released that weekend. The modern retelling of The Taming of the Shrew became an overnight cult classic and helped launch the careers of Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and future Venice, California-based pseudo-cult leader Andrew Keegan. That's not a joke. You can Google it.
But first, pull up your tights and slap on your codpiece.
Please don't.
Snug. The hour has struck for a Shakespearean. What's the difference?
Hi, Daddy.
Before we delve into the core distinctions between a play written in 1591 and a movie that kicks off with the bare naked ladies, we want to doff our cap to the 10 Things I Hate About You creatives for their numerous wry nods to the Elizabethan source material.
For instance, while Taming is set in Padua, Italy, and 10 Things in Seattle, the film's young lovers attend Padua High School.
Many character names were maintained and even given an extra dash of Shakespearean referentiality. For instance, Catherine Kate Minola in Taming became Katerina Cat Stratford in 10 Things. A nod to Shakespeare's birthplace, Stratford-upon-Avon.
Petruchio from Taming becomes Heath's anglicized Patrick Verona, his surname a shout-out to the Italian town that Petruchio hails from in the play.
And if you caught this last one, you were probably an English major. During the prom scene, Patrick calls in a favor to have one of Kat's favorite Seattle bands surprise her with a dance floor serenade. What song do they sing? A cover of Nick Lowe's Cruel to Be Kind from 1979. What's the connection? Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 4.
That's an impressively deep cut, but this show is not called What's the Reference, so what are we doing here?
Right you are. On a narrative construction level, both tales orbit around a simple premise. A father has two comely daughters, Bianca, an angelic emblem of enticing domesticity, and her elder sister, Catherine/Katerina, the tempestuous Shrew. The younger daughter is in hot demand by many a suitor, but the father forbids any indulgence of these advances until the elder daughter is first taken off the market, which is highly unlikely due to her sharp tongue and violent reputation. Bianca's desperate suitors hire a rogue to tame the shrew so they can freely pursue the object of their affection.
And it's from here the two pieces begin to wildly diverge. First, in Taming, there's a convoluted storyline of multiple suitors assuming false identities as tutors to get close enough to Bianca to curry romantic favor. Lucencio, in the guise of Cambio, teaches Latin, and Horencio, in the guise of Lezio, attempts to teach Bianca music. For his efforts, Catherine breaks his lute over his head after he corrects her finger placement on the frets.
By comparison, in 10 Things, the furthest it's taken is JGL's Cameron pretending to know French in order to tutor Bianca. Furthermore, the character of Joey in 10 Things could be considered a pseudo-composite of the characters Grimio and Hortensio from Taming if you replaced Hortensio's earnestness with douche bro entitlement.
That entitlement sets him on a frequent collision course with Kat, who, as a future Sarah Lawrence undergrad, delights in lobbing feminist truth bombs. In 10 Things, she fills the role of Shrew by having unpopular opinions, a sharp tongue, and a staunch unwillingness to fit in with what she considers an oppressively patriarchal high school status quo. In Taming, Catherine the Shrew qualifies for at least a handful of disorders in the DSM vibe.
For instance, in Act 2, Scene 1, Catherine leads Bianca on stage with her hands bound, then proceeds to beat her to pry out the intel of which bachelor Bianca favors. Perhaps this played as slapstick in the Globe Theatre of Shakespeare's era, but such enhanced interrogation tactics would likely read more as sisterly Zero Dark 30 today.
Which serves as the perfect segue to address the main tonal difference between Taming and 10 Things, the attitudes the pieces adopt towards women. In Taming, Catherine and Bianca are largely viewed as property to be horse-traded between father and future husband, a feminine token representing a merger and acquisition of the generational wealth of noble families.
This outlook seeded subplots and intrigues wholly absent from 10 Things. For instance, in Taming, the girl's father, Baptista, pits Bianca's suitors against each other in a showdown over the wealth they will commit to the union with his youngest daughter.
And doth he looked and saw the time was different. 1591.
Thankfully, in 10 Things, the father could not be more of a lovable suburban worrywart, panged by Kat's desire to move across the country for college, forcing Bianca to wear the pregnancy suit before attending a high school party, and bearing his soul to his eldest with an earnest heart-to-heart.
You know, fathers don't like to admit it when their daughters are capable of running their own lives. It means we've become spectators.
Way to go, Daddy.
In Taming, Petruchio arrives in Padua with far less than pure intentions. I come to wive it wealthy in Padua, and quickly decides that marrying Catherine is his prime wealthy wiving endeavor. Shortly thereafter, they are betrothed, and he practically kidnaps her away over her protestations at the midpoint of the play. But of course, she has no say in the matter because, again, she's property.
You keep passing judgment, but you see it's how it was done in 1591. What do you do in 2019?
Generally, I'd say it's for love.
Get right out.
Obviously, Patrick did not kidnap Cat in 10 Things, nor did he at any point call his shot a la Babe Ruth like Petruchio does in Taming. What exact will I be master of is what is mine own. She is my goods, my chattels, she's my house, my household stuff, my field, my barn, my horse, my ass, my anything. Really?
No, instead of 10 Things, there is a complete inversion of Shakespeare's misogyny as the roughneck bad boy Patrick is himself tamed in his pursuit to tame Cat. He's the one who first takes steps towards changing for her, stubbing out his cigarette habit, brushing up on feminist lit, and even venturing into the adorably 90s club skunk.
Very well would, I say.
In Taming, Petruchio literally denies Catherine food, sleep, and clothing in order to break her will. He demands she accede to whatever whim flits across his mind, for as her master, he determines her reality. At the conclusion of the play, when he has, successfully tamed the shrew, his ultimate prize is an inheritance and a subservient partner who lowers herself beneath his heel as part of a closing monologue.
1591.
10 Things' refreshingly more humane resolution sees Patrick fall for Kat's independent streak, her self-assuredness, and her ambition. Rather than seek to knuckle her under as a masculine superior, Patrick follows the romantic Cameron's advice. Sacrifice yourself on the altar of dignity and even the score to win her heart, not as a superior, but as an enamored equal.
And boy, did it work. Love tamed the shrew within all of us.
Oh, pretty baby, don't bring me down, I pray. Oh, pretty baby, now that I found you, stay and let me love you, baby. Let me love you.
And so the curtain falls on this episode, but get down to the comments and let us know what you want to see next.
But be sure to subscribe to Cinefix for more What's the Difference, which I assume is some sort of newsletter from the printing press. I don't know if my accent changed enough over the course of this episode.